Hello and thanks very much for watching the Sullivan's Project's mid-month review for the month of January 2014, and this is Season 3, Episode 1, and welcome aboard. My name is John, also known as JB Sullivan, and it's quite an honor to have you here for a third year of the Sullivan's Project's mid-month review. We actually started production on the 15th of each month for the next month, so a lot of this will go back to December 15th, and a lot of things have happened since then. That was the pre-Christmas season, the post-Hanukkah season, and of course the New Year did follow. And it's been a very exciting year so far, just in those couple weeks. On the 4th, we actually had the point where the Earth was closest to the Sun, and you can also see that right now the Moon is actually looking pretty close, but it's actually pretty far, and right now Jupiter is coming up as the Sun sets. Jupiter itself is about 88 times the diameter of Earth. And compare that against the Moon, which is just 1/4 the diameter. The reason it looks so far away compared to the Moon is because it is so much further away. Also on the space front, as you remember, the shuttle program retired, by my estimation, many years, if not decades overdue. There was a program in the wings called the Orion Aries constellation, which I was never a fan of. Actually, I did like the Lockheed Orion capsule. Just really couldn't stand the concept behind the launch vehicle itself, and it just didn't look like it was a good use of money or technology. In the meantime, other companies have come forward with commercial contracts to develop their own launch vehicles, including Orbital Space Sciences, or Orbital Sciences, and SpaceX, of course, both of which have been in the news a lot. There are others on the way, including Space Dev, their SNC Sierra Nevada Corporation's lifting body, called the Dream Chaser, which will actually use a United Launch Alliance vehicle to launch, as will many other vehicles in the fleet to come. But it's very exciting. NASA itself took 25 shuttle engines off of the shuttle program and put replacements on, which you see now in museums. And with those 25 replacements, you have about maybe 4 or 5 good opportunities to reuse those one last time SLS program. Now the SLS stands for, I think, Space Launch System or something like that, but it's really a marvelous thing. The capsule itself looks very small compared to the shuttle program, but the shuttle itself had the whole vehicle that came in and did the landing, and all the operations and everything was on board that. The whole service module, just about everything was on the shuttle itself, and a lot of the launch weight, launch mass, launch fuel was used just to get the vehicle itself, wings and tail into orbit. Now that's all going to be averted with the new programs coming out, because you're not going to be launching that huge airframe into space. And now I'm very excited about the Orion capsule in particular. There are others out there that are contenders, including Boeing's CST-100, and of course others that may come along from Bigelow and others. But as far as NASA is concerned, they're very smart to redevelop and retool the previously worked Lockheed Orion capsule. I'm a big fan. Now what you saw coming through Tucson to make an unexpected stop at the Pima Air and Space Museum was the actual vehicle. Now, it's not really a mock-up, and it's not really an operational vehicle. I consider it more of a NASA X-plane, and that one was actually used in the Atlantic to do recovery operations and training, and to test some of the concepts of the design itself. And they're taking it out to San Diego while going through Tucson. I think it's already there, and it will soon be doing some very similar work out in the Pacific, so that's very exciting as well. So the actual vehicle looks much larger than Apollo did, but it looks much smaller than the shuttle. But my understanding is this vehicle actually has more volume per person than the crew did on the shuttle per person. Of course, you also have to contend with the cramped space going somewhere like, for instance, to the Moon and back. And certainly they would need some kind of an exterior module to be attached to this vehicle when going somewhere like Mars. But really, it's an awesome concept. And that is our future, and we're going to see this thing flying in our lifetime. So here's your first look. Hello, and thanks very much for watching the Sullivan's Project's mid-month review for the month of January 2014. And here we are at the Pima Air and Space Museum. And this is the BD-5. People who are my age may remember this as part of a James Bond film back in the 70s. I don't know which one, but really cool jets. At the time, the BD-5 was the smallest jet in the world. Some people just call it the flying coffin. I don't know, but I'd love to own one. Or I can never talk about the Beechcraft bonanza without thinking about my dad. I could see that both this wonderful plane and I had both made our way out of Kansas. Hello, and thanks so much for watching the Sullivan's Project's Midmonth Review for the month of January 2014. And it's finally here. This is the actual research aircraft called Orion that NASA is using right now. Is in between drop test out into the Atlantic Ocean and recovery by the United States Navy forces, and doing the same off the California coast off of San Diego. So here I am once again, and here is Orion. So we finally met and passed, and pretty soon you're going to see this thing carry men and women up to the International Space Station and back, and not long thereafter it's heading to Moon and possibly even Mars. Hello, and thanks very much for watching the Sullivan's Project's Midmonth Review for the month of January 2014. And here we are around Christmas time, actually filming the MB-52003. This was actually one of the two out at NASA Dryden Air Force Base. Correction, out at NASA Dryden Edwards Air Force Base, and had dropped the X-15 and the lifting bodies. And if you saw my Space Fest video from last summer, you can see that I featured this plane many times there. And its twin 008 is out in Dryden right now, also in retirement, and that one actually lasted much longer. This one here was the one that first dropped Scott Crossfield and his X-15, and that program went on for 199 flights. Also dropped were the X-38 recently, and a bunch of other vehicles and rockets. The lifting bodies including the X-24A, the X-24B, the HL-10, the M2F2, and quite a few that I'm sure I forgot. But really, it's a wonderful program. One of the great things about NASA was that something this old lasted almost 50 years in service, and I really don't think you can say the same thing about even the Dreamliners coming online today. Well, hello once again. Thanks so much for watching the Sullivan's Project's Mid-Month Review for the month of January 2014. And here we are with the actual airplane that was in the news quite a lot lately in the 50th anniversary remembrance of President Kennedy's death. This is actually the plane upon which President Johnson had taken the oath of office, next to the bloody Jackie Onassis Kennedy, who was wearing a pink dress with her husband's blood on it. And that oath of office took place right here on this plane with the recently deceased president only a few feet away in a coffin, heading back to Washington, D.C. After the assassination in Dallas. Variants that I flew upon while in the Navy for 4 years. This is just really a great plane. And it's always good to come out here and just, in shape only, relive some memories. There's the nose wheel, APU, pilot, co-pilots next to him, navigator, radio, and I sat right there in that seat. And yes, it's true, I'm the only one person in this earth that can capture NASA's past, both here and here, as well as her future right here.